What's up, witches? It's me, Luna. And a week ago, there were two bushes in our woods that had leaves, and those were the honeysuckles. And 1 week later, bam, everything is green. The leaves just went, it literally, you could almost hear it happening. It's beautiful and green, and everything's blooming, so my windows are shut tight. And the air conditioning's on because achoo. Anyhow, I have an unboxing for you today, and my favorite little shop in Kent, Puffin Stuff, little head shop that was a head shop before any weed was legal anywhere, had a sale. I went in and they have a May sale. All their metaphysical stuff is 25% off. So I was not expecting to get a deck, but hell yeah. This is the Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose, and I got a little confused because when I got it, I thought that this was the one by the person that did the Universal Folk Oracle, Inverarity, I think her name is, but I think the tarot is the Universal Folk Tarot. But I thought I recognized the art, and I'm like, oh yeah, I want that one. And then I got it home and went, I don't know that I've ever seen this deck. It's U.S. Games by Olivia Rose, and I even went into my catalog and looked up Olivia Rose, and nope, I have no decks by her. And you see 2023 is that, what does it say, QP? But 2023, I looked it up and it was last June that this was released by U.S. Games. Let your imagination be your guide. The Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose. The Mind's Eye Tarot invites you to embark on an adventure of the spirit, allowing your imagination to be your trusted guide. Through her lush mixed media artwork using tea and gold ink, Olivia Rose conveys the intuitive creative process that inspired the Mind's Eye Tarot and infused it with positive energy. The 78 borderless cards encourage us to dive deep into our own emotions, to connect with the stories and symbolism of Tarot and discover their meanings and messages. Includes 78 gilt-edged cards and a 172-page illustrated guidebook. So I did go on, the only thing I've done is take the plastic off the outside. I haven't looked at all. But I have a little bit of fear and trepidation just by the size of the box that this is going to be a giant deck. I went on YouTube and I found her channel, and a very sweet, sweet video from several months back. I don't know when it was, when the deck was released. And she's adorable. And she was talking about how hard it is to read reviews because it's her baby, and she wants everybody to be as thrilled as she is and everything. So I want to say at the beginning, because I'm going to tag her, Olivia. I go into this with just bottomless respect for your talent, your dedication, and the devotion and commitment it takes to sit down and produce a work like this. So right from the rip, you have my gratitude and my respect. But let's get closer. Okay. Come on. And it's got this kind of, the Fyodor Pavlov has this kind of box too, and I think I might have another one. I kind of like this. It's very attractive. We have just a gray inside. And here's the book. And oh, it's chunky. Oh yeah, it's a chunker, you guys. Uh-oh. It's got a little bent, but that's okay. Look at the size of this book, and look at the full color images. All right, there is a ribbon pull, and it's not a giant deck. Oh. So well, we'll see when I take this off. I'm hoping it's linen, like Fyodor Pavlov. It's one of my favorite kinds to shuffle. All right, let's set those aside and look at the book. I mean, it's fat. P-H-A-T. Okay, introduction. No one could have prepared me for this wonderful project, and for the last few years I have fully immersed myself in the world of Tarot. I went into it initially completely unaware of the depth and magic that each card can possess. How cool is that? The Mind's Eye Tarot illustrations are all created by hand using watercolor paper, markers, gold ink, and tea. Each drawing is energetically charged with positive and loving energy from myself. I've always enjoyed creating art intuitively, so each card has been made in that way. I found that while working on the deck, I would take on the emotions of the card. This gave me a deeper understanding of each card and the emotion I wanted to convey in the art. The symbolism and forms you see in each card were created using the energy and imagination I felt while thinking of the meaning behind each card. For me, the most important thing about this deck is that it tells a story that can guide the user. I drew strong inspiration from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, as that was the first system I became familiar with. I wanted to maintain a lot of the symbolism and structure aligned with it so that even less experienced readers would be able to use this deck with ease. And there's a quote, "Remember, all the answers to your questions are within. Sometimes you just need a little helping hand to find them." Olivia Rose. Okay, and then we're straight into the majors. We don't even get a contents page. So that's kind of refreshing, because you know they're all going to be in order. We have the full color image, we have the title, we have a description and what it represents, and then upright and reversed meanings. And the same thing for the minors. Let's get to the back. And then we have a 3-card spread, hindsight, insight, foresight. I really like that. Then we have about the artist. Olivia Rose is a UK artist with both Scottish and Jamaican heritage. She's just so adorable. She has always had a passion for the arts and wanted to be an artist since the age of 5. Her love for art started with her mother, who studied fashion. She enjoyed watching her mom create beautiful fashion illustrations, and that's where the love affair began. Olivia works with traditional materials such as markers, ink, and occasionally watercolors on watercolor paper. She's primarily a self-taught artist, but studied animation at university. She has created an oracle deck, the Heart's Eye Oracle, and she was saying, so that's an indie, because I went immediately and looked it up and couldn't find it. That deck was an indie, and she was talking about the difference between publishing indie and through a publisher. Her interest in the ocean and nature has greatly influenced her work. She often studies different natural forms, such as shells, mushrooms, coral, and fossils, then incorporates them into her artwork. Olivia also has a deep love for fantasy creatures such as mermaids, fairy, and elves, and they often make an appearance in her illustrations. Olivia's work has been displayed in the UK, America, China, and Malaysia. So again, and then we have a few pages for notes, which always kind of crack me up, like, what are you going to do there? You know? Or you could put, you know, a note, this is when I got this deck, or particularly like with the decks that people give me as a gift, I put in my catalog that, you know, when they were received, and that there's a note in the book too. So let's get the seam ripper out here. Come on. All right. I always want to be just so very careful, because even with a seam ripper, you can ding your cards. All right. They are not linen. All right. Color me slightly disappointed. We do have those, you know, the wide, flat edges. I mean, you can see how wide the edge is, so there's a place for the gilding to be. Are they linen? Well, I can't tell. I think they are. Interesting. Let's get in. And they are linen. Yay. It's hard to see. It's very subtle. But this is one of my favorite cardstocks, because they are they're sturdy and they are so easy to shuffle. So I'm really excited. Yes, I can really see now the texture on them. You know, it gives them a little bit of a sheen, but they're not glossy. And the back is just an abstract, webby, rootsy. You know, I'm reminded of energy lines and roots and webs and connections, and then the gorgeous gilding. And then the gorgeous artwork. Okay, so here's the Fool. And we have beautiful color. We have images that are close up, so there's an immediacy there. She's, if I were to look at this without knowing, would I recognize it as the Fool? This, the wand, or the, you know, the staff with the little kit bag hanging from it, is certainly a giveaway. And then we have the sun. I love the eyes. These kind of look like sunflowers, but there's smoke coming off of them. How interesting. Let's look in the book. Okay, I'm going to try not to say how interesting every frickin' card here. Let's see what she has to say. The fool is excited to embark on an adventure, but is not aware of the lurking danger, keeping a close eye on her. And the smoke. In her bag, she only carries the essential things she needs to move forward. The Fool card represents the hope you have inside you just before embarking on a journey. Fearing the unknown can only hold you back and stunt your personal growth. Upright is the beginning of an adventure or journey, freedom of spirit, travel, intuitive creativity. Reversed, irresponsibility, thoughtlessness, recklessness, walking into danger unaware. So the meanings are very standard, and she did say in the video that it is very Waite-Smith, so if you're familiar with that, it'll be a friendly deck to you. I love this, things keeping an eye on her and the smoke coming out. I think of where there's smoke, there's fire. Look at this coming in front of her. It can be clouding her vision. You know, I can't clearly see my next step. So very cool symbols coming in here that add something to the basic meaning. Here's the Magician. So we see her, and here's the eyes again. I love this motif of the eyes. We have all of the symbols. It's definitely recognizable. And then the High Priestess. Look at the colors on the skin. Are really beautiful. There's like, did I put this on? I can't remember if I auto-focused it or not. All right, it's not going to pop in. But there's like pink and green. Definitely otherworldly looking. And here's the High Priestess. Look at the watery, the waves, waves, waves. And we have these eyes again. So I would be very interested in a conversation with Olivia Rose, asking about these eye motifs. I'm going to go back here to the High Priestess and see what she says. Yeah. She remains still, keeps a watchful eye on events around her. So we've got the watchful eye. And these are not mentioned with the Magician, even though those watchful eyes are there still. So let's see how these continue to show up. We see the crescent moon. We have the two pillars, the dark and the light. So yes, she is recognizable. I love her style. I really love the style. It's subtle. It's ethereal. These eyes with kind of the feathery, they're very deep. They remind me of whale's eyes. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I'm going to take myself out of here. All right, you guys, I've had to take myself out of the image because my face camera is freaking out, and I really don't want to buy another camera, but here we are. Anyway, we've got the deck. You don't need to see me. Here's the Empress. So we have these eyes again, and I was just saying that they remind me of whale's eyes. The depth, you know, when you see a whale's eye, it's just so deep. And here she is with the heart and the Venus symbol, so certainly recognizable. And here's the Emperor. We see the ram and the Ankh here, and those eyes again, but we don't really see someone recognizable as a male. So we see that the Fool, the Magician, are female. And the Emperor looks kind of neutral, but that sun symbol, the ram's horns that sort of continue curling around there, I love those. I love this arm. It definitely suggests power. And here's the Hierophant. I love the head thing. So we don't have the acolytes. So again, you know, in some of them we're stepping pretty far away from the standard images, but you do get something that cues you in really clearly. And then we have these eyes. So fascinating. The Lovers. They're gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Here's the Chariot. So we have the winged eyes that are sort of leading the chariot, and look at how they're very owly. And look at the red ribbon she's holding. Here's Strength. Oh, indeed. Wow. They're beautiful. I'm going to say it over and over and over again in the Hermit. I like this. That rather than standing like on a mountaintop, they're in a burrow surrounded by roots, or, this is plant-like stuff coming up and wrapping around her. And she still has her light. So she's going into the deep, dark places. And there's a light to guide her there. I love it. There's the Wheel of Fortune. Very, very clear. I love the faces. Justice. The Hanged Man. I love this, is this hair? Because it looks like the hair here. They're very flowing. There's a very strong flow to all of them. And this featheriness, I would love to do a puzzle of these. I like doing puzzles online, and this would be fun to do. I like that we have the bones here in the skull, but then we've got a living face. Temperance. I love the deep red of the wings. The Devil, look at the headdress, and just these highlights on there that just make them go pow. So you definitely need to have Waite-Smith in your head, because we're not getting a one-to-one translation of those images. But they are really gorgeous. Here's the Tower. Look at how the Tower is her body. Wow, and there's smoke again. So we don't really see it crumbling, but there's a tear here. Oh my God. I could launch on this one. The Star. This is the image that's on the front of the book. Look at that face, the flowing hair. And now we have eyes in stars. And yes, the eyes are certainly a theme through the whole thing. And there's the Moon. I love the stripes. Again, yeah, very intuitive, absolutely. You can feel it. And the Sun. I always love comparing the Moon and the Sun cards. Let's look at the Star too. Yeah, the figures are central, and they're so wonderful to look at. Judgment. I was just sitting here thinking that you rarely see, like in the standard Smith-Waite, you don't see people laughing and smiling much in the tarot. Here's Judgment. Again, the smoke and the World. I love the dark moodiness of them. We don't have the four fixed signs, but I wasn't really expecting. But we see this globe in the middle, and that's what clues us in. Here's the Wands. Look at the light shining. Oh, it's beautiful. And the Two. Now we get these little wings with eyes. The Three. Okay, so we can see this is the same person. We've got these quadruple wing things that I love. And she's kind of looking towards us, but off to the side, and then here she's looking out that way. So we definitely get the idea of something, you know, being planned, and then I'm looking off, you know. Very cool. There's the 4. I love the kind of greenish on the faces. Okay, wait a minute. I just decided to do that because sometimes when you get gilded decks like this, you have to crack them. They stick together because of the gilding, and if you go like this, you hear them go, you know, and they separate, because I had a couple that were together. There's the 5 of Wands. We certainly get that idea. The 6. Look at her on a rhinoceros beetle. Or some sort of giant beetle. Him. That looks like a him. Possibly, maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Can't tell. Very neutral. And there's the 7. I like the way they're not like standing, rah, you know, with the wand. I keep realizing you guys can't see me. They're sitting. Strong like a mountain. Here's the 8. And the 9. And duh, it just kind of struck me that the name of it is the Mind's Eye Tarot. And here's all these eyes. Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to club me over the head with it, but I connect eventually. Here's the 9 of Wands. Look at the wing. The tattered wing that gives us that idea of a wounded warrior. Here's the 10. With these sticks lashed to her with the red bonds, and they're bound around her arms. That's really informative, you know. The burden is really tying her up and taking away her power to use her arms. Here's the Page. The Knight. I love their wings. Very dragonfly. You see the dragonfly there for sure. The Queen with her sunflowers. And the King. Oh, so cool. And now here are the cups. Yep, those are stuck. Okay. How interesting to have a sun coming up out of the cup. And we've got clouds here too. There's the 2. Definitely a gender neutral vibe to a lot of them. A lot are feminine looking. Yeah, see, they're kind of sticking. Come on. Here we go. There's the 3. I just love the faces, and I love the eyes. They draw you right in. Here's the 4. So that when the eyes are closed here, it definitely says something. And they look like they're on nautiluses here. Oh, this is like, oh, nope, there's one. Fewer eyes on the cups. That's the 5 of Cups. It's like she's drowning in an ocean of tears. Here's the 6. You definitely get the idea of something being handed on. Stories, memories. And I'm just noticing now, let's see here. 2, 3, 4, yeah, so they're, you know, clearly not pippish, but we do have, you know, the number of symbols on it. And for the cups, we have these nautilus looking things that I like. With something different growing out of each. And there's the 8. She got a look on her face like, I am fed up. And a very egg-like moon, or disc-like. Interesting. There's the 9. The 10. I would love to see you design some costumes, my dear. And then we have the Page. The Knight. Yeah, I'm getting a lot sticking. It's funny because they didn't crack when I met them, but look at this eely looking the Queen, and the King. All right, hold on. There, I heard it. I heard the little crack that time. There we go. And, whoops. The Ace, the 2. No blindfolds. 3. So we get these triangles here. As you know, the sword hilts are triangles. There's the 4. Are we stuck again? We are. Okay. The 5. Look at the tears coming out of the eyes here. There's the 6. The 7. This eye looks like it's getting poked. The 8. Again, those red bonds. 9 and 10. And there's still, okay, there we go. I don't know if you heard that. There's the Page and the Knight. The Queen and the King. Look at the smoke coming out of the mouth. And here's the Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles. And here we have flowers, no eyes. Okay. Oh no, here the eyes come back. Maybe just not on the aces. Here's the 2. The 3. 4, look at the hair. Ooh, very pleasing. The 5. Six, we see the scales. The 7. The 8. Look at her little winged eyeball. The 9. The 10. And yes, clearly pentacles are coins. And here's the Page. Knight. Queen. And King. Just wonderful. All right, I managed to reload my camera. Let's hope it hangs in till the end of the video. It is such a beautiful deck. It is not a beginner's deck. Although, I mean, any deck can be a beginner's deck. Let's be real about it. But I'm thinking because the meanings do stay close to Waite Smith, it might be a good beginner's deck because you're going to learn the meanings, you're going to associate it with these cards, and then if you do go to Waite Smith, you're just going to find, you know, those things really showing up in the illustrations. But as a deck, you know, as somebody that has Rider Waite Smith fully internalized, when you find a beautiful deck that is pleasing when you're working with it, it counts for a lot. Okay, let's give it a blessing and extend the blessing to dear Olivia Rose for everything that went into this deck. I'm down to the last crumbs of my sage, and I'm ready to order more. So if you guys have a good native-owned source for your white sage, drop them in the comments below, because that's where I would like to buy from. I want to make sure that the First Nations community is benefiting from any purchase I make there of their sacred plants. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And I don't have any worries about, you know, the water getting on these cards because the linen stock, just the best. And by the sound of the bell, may the spirit awaken. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, Thank you for being here every day of my life, every second of every day. Help me to bring forth a reading that is good for all of us, the collective, and I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael to awaken the spirit of divination. Come on, start. Here we go. Okay. Let's see how she shuffles, but I know how she's going to shuffle. I already know. It doesn't, this gilding doesn't hurt your hands. It's still, you know, gilded decks have sharp edges to them. And because you have to have a flat edge for gilding to stick to. And some of them are downright painful. This is sharpish, but not bad. And as she was saying on the video, she really didn't get a choice about packaging. US Games, and I'm sure, you know, the bigger the publisher, probably the less choice you're going to get. But, you know, the trade-off being a massive audience might really make it worth it. And I don't have any problem with packaging, you know. Although I kind of have a problem just with the trend of everything getting into big boxes, but, you know, 'tis what it is. Okay, and it shuffles just beautifully overhand. Okay, so let's focus in here. And I'm going to do one more riffle and ask what we need to know today as the collective, and especially with Olivia Rose in mind. You know, I never thought about reading for the authors. Wow, there's something. Okay. It's getting rainy outside for spring and this time of deep change. What do we need to know to bring our best? Okay, here they come. I don't know how many I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 here, and then we got these 2 that came straight up. So let's look at these 2. The 4 of, how interesting, the 4 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So you can tell we got a really good shuffle, but how fun that they gave us 2 4s. All right. 4 of Cups, 4 of Wands, talking about either withdrawing into yourself or being with others. So that dichotomy between the balance between alone time, solitude, but this isn't really a card of solitude. This is a card about dissatisfaction and ruminating and kind of pulling into yourself because of that, because you're sort of getting lost in your internal world and not seeing when you're being offered something. And then the 4 of Wands is like, you know, look what we made this shelter for you. Please come. Please please come out of yourself and come hang out with us. I like that. Let's go to the book. All right. The 4 of Cups depicts a mermaid sitting and waiting under a tree. She seems peaceful and in a meditative state, but downhearted. The 4 of Cups shows you that you may not appreciate all that your life already has to offer. It's important to live in the moment and realize that a lot of the answers you seek are within yourself. Wonderful. Pithy, to the point writing, very clear. Upright, boredom, disappointment, indifference, disconnection, apathy. Good keywords. Reverse says happiness, awareness, clarity, gratitude. Wow, so that really is a reverse. Okay, and then the 4 of Wands is a special card that represents satisfaction or the attainment of a goal. The card also symbolizes stability and reunions, celebrations, and returning home. The card radiates a feeling of warmth and acceptance. Upright, stability, marriage, reunions, friendship. Reversed, instability, transition, conflict at home. So what I'm seeing here is that it might be time to go to your family, to go to your, you know, and by family I mean blood or chosen, whoever makes up your tribe, right? That when we're dealing with these internal things, we need to balance that and give ourselves time to go be in the bosom of our family and friends and let them care for us as well. Now, let's see what we have. Oops, wait. Oh, okay. So 10 of Cups reversed. Six of Cups. Three of Swords. Ooh, okay. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. And Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so if I had to answer the question, does this deck have the it factor? Yeah, it does. Look at how we got these two fours and these two aces. It's echoing and reflecting itself. It's backing itself up. So, you know, one of the first clues you have that a deck has got it is when you do readings like this and there are synchronicities within, you know, this doing a reading is a synchronicity activity to begin with, but when the synchronicities show up like this, it's very cool. All right, so we did get the one reverse. And Ten of Cups, you know, when your fulfillment, your sense of happiness and sense of achievement, of being there, of being fulfilled is on its head. The Ten of Cups shows two people who look happy and secure together and are totally fulfilled. They're joyous and content because they have everything they've wished for. This card is all about emotional fulfillment and reassurance that any issues will be resolved. The upright meaning is security, harmonious family life, enduring love, emotional and spiritual happiness. Reversed, domestic issues, disharmony, and discontentment. And boy, do I want to go to current events right now. And so I will. I'm shooting this in May of 2024, where we have encampments in many universities across the U.S. in protest of the genocide in Gaza. And so student protests are being met with police, and we're coming to a reckoning there. So, you know, this domestic issues is what I'm hearing there. But also think about, for each of you personally, domestic issues just being how you may have adjusted to all of the huge changes and crises that we've had in the last 4 years. And, you know, the stress takes a toll. The stress certainly takes a toll. Disharmony and discontentment. We've gone through so many things. We've survived so many things. So many things have improved, and yet we are still under so much stress collectively, globally, you know, in every way possible, politically, socially, spiritually. We are in times of upheaval and transition and deep change. So that's showing up here, that it really is difficult, if not impossible right now, to just kind of relax back into your, you know, sense of happiness. And then Six of Cups shows a mermaid giving a cup to her younger self. This card, oh, to her younger self. I like that. This card depicts the innocence and comfort of childhood memories and the security and sense of warmth that they can bring to you. This card shows there may be a nostalgic longing for the happier times of the past, and boy, does that come directly from that Ten of Cups. Nostalgia, innocence, gratitude, and healing childhood memories. Reversed is moving forward with resignation, keeping up appearances, and stuck in the past. Yeah, definitely got the stuck in the past thing that I had never really thought of before. But dwelling on past memories, and if they are bringing you, if they're affecting your mood in a negative way, and you're not bringing these memories up in order to, you know, do a healing process around them, then we really need to check on why we're going there. And if you constantly find yourself going to a place that you considered healed and, you know, dragging up these memories, that becomes the real question then. Why are you going back? There is something more for you there. And then we've got Three of Swords, so we have pain there. So there's definitely some stuff from the past rearing its head for all of us to look at individually and collectively, because we're upside down right now. And we're not going to just get over it, right? Okay, Three of Swords shows a woman with a tear coming down her face. Swords pierce her heart, Oh, it's heart. Okay, I was seeing, for some reason, I wasn't seeing a heart. I was seeing like hands, red hands. Her expression is pained and sorrowful. This card relates to mental anguish or heartbreak. The pain will not last forever. It will eventually pass, just like the storm clouds in the background, unless you keep picking the scab, unless you keep going back to the memories. The memories will bring up the emotions. Upright, mental anguish, loss, heartbreak, sadness, sorrow. Reversed, healing, reconciliation, recovery. Possible mental alienation. How interesting. Okay, so we certainly have it laid out that our overall happiness has really taken a hit, and I'm getting a strong vibe of that we need to redefine our sense of happiness and what it means to us. So our collective definition of happiness, the American dream, that's what my daughter said the other day. Yeah, the American dream died with our generation. Now let's go to the aces, the pentacles and the swords, earth and air. So Ace of Pentacles, suit of Pentacles, relates to the element earth and rules over the senses, possessions, and values. The first card of the earth element, the Ace of Pentacles, is shown in a beautiful scene of fluffy clouds and blooming flowers, reflecting comfort and pleasure of the senses. It tells you that now is the perfect time to move forward with your projects and ambitions, whether they relate to career or finances. Upright is prosperity, new opportunities, encouraging signs. Reversed is missed chances, bad investments. And then the Ace of Swords. Suit of Swords relates to the element air and rules over the intellect, communication, decision-making, perception, and reason. As the first card of the air element, the Ace of Swords represents enlightenment, victory, and professional triumph. The sun is radiating powerful, triumphant energy on the sword as it proudly pierces the clouds. This card tells you may be on the verge of a breakthrough. It could also be a good time to start a new project. Upright is willpower, confidence, victory, triumph. And reversed is confusion, ignorance, miscommunication. And one of the things that Ace of Swords has always meant to me, that I've never seen in any book, but it's always been to me the ace that says new things come when you cut away the old. That the new beginning comes from making a decision, cutting something away, making a dividing line, setting a boundary. That's what it has always said to me. So what do we do to redefine this stuff? Well, we've got to get our values straight. We have to restructure our value system from the beginning without money at the base. You know, we are in a system that values money at the bottom line, that values the bottom line. And we have forgotten about the sustenance of the planet itself, of the people, the creatures. Everything needs to be fed and nourished and sustained, or nothing really survives. So our value system, rather than the things that cost this much, what the cost of a thing is the value of the thing. No. We need to place the priceless things, the invaluable things, at the beginning of this recalculation of our value system. And then the Ace of Swords here. And look at how this comes next to the Six of Cups. This comes next to the Three of Swords. So between this really feeling like our happiness is evaporated and returning to the past, we go to the Ace of Pentacles. So it says, okay, so let's look to the past and see what's worth salvaging. What do we value that we can salvage and use to recreate that value structure? And on this side, between this pain, this heart-wrenching pain that we feel because our happiness, because we don't know what the big dream is anymore. We haven't, we've let go of the old, but we haven't redefined the new yet. So here it's about, since we're already grieving, looking at, okay, rather than here's what we value, here's what we want to keep, this is the here's what we need to get rid of. Here's what I don't want to see anymore. If I could start all over again, here's what will not be included. Clear-sighted, here's what I don't want. And then the Wheel of Fortune says things are changing, whether we want them to or not. They're going to change at the speed they change, whether we don't like that or not. And the Wheel of Fortune is that card of fate. This is where we find ourselves. This is the time of change. And, the aces are good news. 10 of Cups is, the end of a suit. Whoops. The end of a suit, and then we begin again. So what we really need to do is make sure that we are feeling all the feelings that come with the endings, so that we can be ready to begin again and catch that wheel, jump on that wheel as it's turning. And then with these two coming out to say, let's not just get lost in the feelings ourselves. Let's look to the others that we are recreating things with as well, for help and support and all of that stuff. Wow. So, hey, Olivia Rose. This is a hell of a deck, my dear. Here we go. This is a wonderful deck. What do you guys think? I mean, it's one of those that, like I said, the it factor, it came out swinging with message. Very clear. Very beautiful. I love the cardstock. I love my US Games decks, like you guys know I do. Anyway, yeah. Big thumbs up, darling. You did an excellent job. I am so grateful for you and grateful for your art. All right, you guys, tell me what you think down below. And hey, oh, by the way, since I'm going into a phase here where I can't really afford decks, there's a list below, an Amazon wish list, and if you buy me one off of that list, I will read for you on my unboxing. Yes, I will. And Olivia Rose, for you, times are changing as well. Take that reading personally for you too, my dear. Again, gratitude, and I will see you guys on my next whatever. Hey, until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.